Afternoon, it's Martin's Engine Services. Just start with a beautiful view of this stunning late afternoon sunshine. It really has been the most beautiful day today. Sun's been blazing since early on. It's been so mild, it's lovely warm wind. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to be a nice day tomorrow, up to about midday, and then it starts raining again. So, I've had one seriously productive day today. First of all, this morning I jumped out the front and I started chopping or pruning some of my hedges, and I've got a vast amount of that done. Yet another trip up the dump. I've MOT'd a car for a customer, they've just collected that. Straight through, no problem. The C-Max is awaiting collection on Sunday. I've had another little play with it this morning, but of course it was warm and nothing happened whatsoever. So Sunday morning's supposed to be a bit cooler. We'll have a go, but I doubt we're going to get anywhere. So what else we got in here? We've got mowers everywhere. Just had the tractor out, done a bit more sweeping up, a bit of testing, and one slight technical problem has happened. It's not too serious. I think either there's something blocking the carburettor or something's happened, but it seems to have taken up to running very rich all of a sudden. So I've just took the bonnet off and I'm just going to have a little peer in the carburettor. It's a bit warm at the moment, so I think we'll leave that. Transmission seems to be behaving really, really well with the standard ATF transmission fluid in it. I mean, I've only used it for about 15 minutes, but again, very low speed. No sign of any slipping, and so I thought, okay, we may have had a result. So I unbolted the bonnet off the plate. I wasn't taking that springy metal thing off there again, thank you very much. And last night, regular customers, also related to my neighbour, the trusty MG3 has malfunctioned. So we are in the process of removing the gearbox because we've had a clutch failure. What seems to have happened, I've just ordered the clutch and a few other bits from the MG parts supplier. And what's apparently happened is that the shaft on the clutch arm, the clutch pivot shaft, seizes. And this, of course, in turn means that the clutch is being held slightly in the release position. Now, the clutch on this has done 55,000 miles, a lot of short journeys, so it's done well anyhow. So I've started taking it to pieces now, and I've also discovered that the clutch slave cylinder here is leaking fluid because the pedal is literally, you have to stand on it with 2 feet almost to move it. Now, I've never done a clutch on one of these before, but having looked at the situation, it looks like a really, really nice one to do. The space around this transmission is incredible. As you see, if I look straight down now, there's the floor of the workshop. Same at the back. I mean, you put your hand all the way around. The gearbox finishes about here. There's heaps of space, and obviously, brilliant design. The clutch slave is on the outside, so we haven't got any stupid concentric slaves to worry about. That's a simple bolt-on component, metal, not plastic. Bolts on with a pipe, couple of bits. Gear cables are on the top. There's a mounting under the battery. So that's all straightforward. And 10 out of 10 to the, was it SAIC or SAIC Motor Company who made this. Some nice little features that I really am impressed by. When I did the track control arm bushes, I found this useful. In so much that the lower ball joint bolts to the lower arm with 3 bolts. So to undo those, hub comes free, no need to tackle the ball joint. Now the drive shafts, and I wish other manufacturers would take note, you undo the nut and the drive shaft just pushes straight out of the hub. No need to beat it. See, it's all nice and clean, that comes out nicely. You can pop it out the gearbox. The gearbox has a drain plug on it, so you can actually drain it and change the oil. Those little touches are really appreciated when it comes to the workshop and you need to do some repairs. Nice little feature, I thought. Simple little things. Been able to drain the gearbox and been able to get the drive shafts out without beating them to death. They pop out the gearbox nicely, there's plenty of room there. So there's one mounting on the back of the gearbox, which is pretty straightforward to get to, a bit like a Fiesta one. So the bell housing bolts are just literally, just going to show up much here. The bell housing bolts up the top here, one down the side, fairly easy to get to, likewise around the back. Got to just lift the ECU up here. Going to pop the battery out in the battery tray, but again, they're all bolts in. So you do love their bolts, I've noticed in the car. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. There'll be about 8 on the battery tray. The front under panel unbolts nice and easy. So it all seems nice and straightforward. So the amount of space around this gearbox is fantastic. And as you can see through the end of the wheel arch here, where the end of the gearbox actually sits, it's in the middle of nowhere really. It's not going to foul on the subframe here when it comes back. There's plenty of room there. So very impressed by that. Because compared to getting them out of a lot of things, this looks quite friendly actually. I've just ordered the parts from, say, the MG specialist, and the guy there was very helpful, and he said to me, yes, this is the problem with these bushes that seize up. He said one other thing he does recommend is changing the clutch fork, and because they actually bend, and he said they look okay, but they will alter the throw of the clutch. I said, thank you very much. And I think with the VAT, the clutch fork was about 12, 13 pounds. There's 3 bushes all in told on the pedal. They're a few pounds each. The clutch kit was very well priced as well. And I've also, in the clutch slave cylinder, that was also very well priced. And I got a couple of bolts and bits and pieces. But I thought, right, no messing around. I'll go straight to and get the original parts. I did that when I did the timing chain on this, and you get this very comprehensive kit with every tiny little part you need to do the job is in it. Very, very impressive kit. Very nicely made, very nice job. This is the one that was, so it's quite funny because you got, was it 1, 2, 3, I think it was 16 or 18 bolts held the cam cover on. This little plate here's got about 10 bolts on it. The plate on the front of the engine was about 20 bolts. And no, it was a nice kit, very comprehensive, very well laid out. So, you know, other people may not like these, but I can only speak as I find, and I've been very impressed by this car. Lady who owns it's been very impressed as well. She said it's been a brilliant car. She can't fault it. And what more can you ask? It's holding up well. It's what, coming up 10 years old now. A little bit of surface rust on the suspension, couple of arms, but nothing else major. So I can't really complain about it. It's pretty well laid out under the bonnet. Access to everything's pretty straightforward. Seems some nice little touches. Things are sensibly placed. So far from what I've had to do to the car, I give it 10 out of 10 for you know, working on it. Some little features that are just nice, and like on the timing chain tensioner actually bolts in from the back of the engine, sort of BMW style, with a big nut, so you can actually get the tensioner out easy enough to detension the chain without having to fish down inside the cover and spring-loaded tensioners. Just little things like that make it nice to work on. Little touch like the alternator you can actually get to. You don't have to strip half the engine down to get to it. Oxygen sensors nicely positioned, etc, etc. So, yeah, I think they've done a good job of laying this out. I mean, it's what is it? Not really a small car, I suppose it's medium size. But the engine compartment, it's got plenty of room inside. So, all pretty good. I think she was actually very lucky to make it here with this clutch, because it's got this massive delay when it engages, and then it does not want to drive. It did the classic. A couple of weeks ago, she said it slipped, and then it felt all right. Of course, the lining's softened up, the resins have come out, it sort of grips again, and then yesterday it's almost expired. So it got here all right last night in a couple of miles, and I left it out here out on the drive this morning, sort of pointing this way, so when I finished my other 2 jobs, it only had to go straight in the garage. and it made it. So I think we could be in for some fairly spectacular carnage in there. Certainly going to be a very fried, melted clutch, possibly a bent clutch fork. Some very seized bushes and bits and pieces, so I think it could be interesting. But fair credit to the MG dealer. I've dealt with them before quite a few times for various bits and pieces. They're nice people, and it was nice of him to say that this is a problem they encounter in their workshop, and they ought to replace that arm. And you appreciate that kind of help. Very, very nice. They're an old firm. They've been in MG for so many years now. That you just, they've always been good. I've known them a long time, and people I know have used them for years, and they just provide good service, which is always what you want. It's just nice when you ring up for a part and they say, oh, out in the workshop, this is a common problem, and for what it costs, we're not going to take a chance. Anyhow, that's what I'm up to on this lovely Friday. Sun's just starting to go down now. Had the Morris out today, had a few errands to run, so it's a little zip to the village. It's running as splendidly as ever. Profusion's been filled up with garden waste, sacks piled in the back. And one run down there tomorrow and we should be finished. So there's a nice straight piece, the low level hedge at the front I've cut, which is scarily level for me. I'm not sure what happened there. I think I must have crossed my eyes and did that. But get that job done before the weather turns. So I've got this car here for as long as I need it. And everything else is now under control. So, been an interesting week, but there should be a nice video coming up on the carnage that comes out of here. I've also got an engine to take apart next week. It's not for a customer, it's actually an engine I'll be keeping for parts for my Fusion, and I'm just curious to see what it's like inside. It's done a couple 100,000 miles, and I thought, well, let's have a look at it. So that'll be a feature coming up. Probably make that next week when it's raining, and we'll have a little look at a very high mileage Zetec SE. Anyhow, so thanks very much indeed for watching. Been quite a few views over the last few days. Your numbers have been going up very, very nicely, and it's always appreciated. So many thanks, and bye for now.